Young ones, listen carefully. What I'm about to tell you will change the way you see life forever, but only if you stay till the end. Imagine this. You're walking down a quiet path with someone you deeply respect. The journey has been long, the air is still, and the world feels peaceful. But then you reach a river. The water is wild, raging from recent rains, and standing at the edge is a woman, helpless, afraid. She looks at you, her eyes filled with desperation. "Please, I can't cross alone. Will you help me?" But there's a problem. You're bound by rules, strict and unbreakable. Helping her would mean breaking them. Ignoring her would mean keeping your vow. What would you do? This is the story of two monks and a lesson that, once learned, is never forgotten. The sun cast golden rays through the bamboo forest as two monks, one older, wise, and experienced, the other young and eager, walked side by side. Their journey had been silent, both lost in thought, until they reached the riverbank. The river was more violent than usual, swollen from days of rain. The current roared, swallowing branches and tossing them downstream. And there, on the river's edge, stood a young woman in silk robes, clearly from a noble family. She was stranded, staring at the water in terror. As soon as she saw the monks, she rushed forward. "Please, kind sirs, I cannot cross alone. The water is too strong." The younger monk tensed. Their teachings were clear. Monks were to avoid all physical contact with women. To do otherwise was to risk distraction, attachment, and temptation. He expected the elder monk to ignore her and continue walking. But then, something completely unexpected happened. Without hesitation, the older monk stepped forward, lifted the woman into his arms, and carried her into the water. The current crashed against him, but he moved with unwavering strength, step by step, until they reached the other side. Gently, he set her down. She bowed deeply, her voice filled with gratitude. "Thank you, kind sir," she said, before disappearing into the trees. The younger monk followed, but his mind was spinning. They walked for miles, in silence. The forest was quiet, but inside the younger monk's mind, a storm raged. He couldn't believe what had just happened. His master, who had spent years teaching the importance of discipline and detachment, had broken the rules. He had touched a woman. He had carried her. How could he? Finally, after hours of restless thoughts, he couldn't hold it in any longer. "Master," he said, his voice firm, "we are monks. We have vowed to avoid worldly attachments. How could you carry that woman?" The elder monk smiled gently. "My brother," he said, "I set her down on the other side of the river." "Why are you still carrying her?" The younger monk stopped walking. In that moment, everything became clear. He had been carrying the weight of judgment, doubt, and attachment long after the moment had passed. While his master had moved on, he had been trapped in the past, clinging to something that no longer existed. And isn't that what so many of us do? We hold on to anger, resentment, guilt, and past mistakes, letting them weigh us down long after they should have been left behind. We carry burdens that exist only in our minds. So ask yourself, what are you still carrying? And isn't it time to let it go